Oh, for goodness sake.
This is Jonathan Ferguson, the Keeper of Firearms and Artillery at the Royal Armouries Museum in the UK, which houses a collection of thousands of iconic weapons from throughout history. And I'm your host, Dave Jewett. Today, we will once again be inflicting psychic damage onto Jonathan as we take a look at some of the cursed weapons of hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades.
This is horrifying.
You don't like the Glompson?
I don't like the Glompson. At all. In fact, I now have an emotional support Glock.
You'll need that. If you enjoy this kind of content, be sure to like the video and subscribe so you don't miss out on next week's episode. If you join our Patreon, you'll be directly supporting the work we're doing here at EXP, and you'll get instant access to the extended Director's Cut edition of this episode, plus early access to next week's episode covering the weapons of Delta Force. But whether you join our Patreon or subscribe to us here on YouTube, we appreciate your support. Right, over to Jonathan.
Oh, we're straight in with something weird. The world's shortest BAR.
It's the BARbine.
BARbine? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's got lots of recoil and flash, so yeah, that's probably what would happen. How are we attaching things? They seem to just be attaching to nothing.
Don't worry about it too much. That's H3, baby. Yeah, you can. The modular system works without Picatinny in some regards.
Right.
But it's actually so this was very hard to use because obviously it recoils like nobody's business. But because it has no stock, the rate reducer is missing. So it also just fires on maximum fire rate.
Interesting.
It just gives it full chat constantly.
That's very interesting. I hadn't picked up on that. I was too overwhelmed by how absurd it is. Right, so I keep looking down because I've got a normal BAR 1918 A2, except not entirely normal because it has a winter trigger. This is my way of fighting back, Dave. Give you something a little cursed in return.
Our cursed offerings are very different.
I know, it's not really, but it's interesting. It blanks off the trigger guard and gives you a trigger on the outside of the trigger guard. But yeah, this is... even Chicago gangsters didn't go this far with the BAR. I love the way I can clearly see how you're trying very hard to get the sights to align. And like... squeeze off a shot.
At one point I tried to use it as a pistol as well, and that didn't work. It's very weird fighting something with such immense recoil in VR as well.
I actually think this configuration would work best as a club. And I think we've seen it, that's true. But yeah, who'd have thought you could make this look practical? Oh God, what's this?
The M1600 AR-15 style 22 long rifle.
I don't think I know this, but just from looking at it, I know it's a real gun. Reminds me of the Army Jaeger 22 M16 replica. This is worse though. This is the school of thought that says we can just slap a triangular foresight carry handle and pistol grip on something and you'll buy it because it looks like an M16.
Apparently it was produced by Arms Corps.
Oh God, from the Philippines. Yes. I mean, to be fair, it's a sort of range toy plinking rifle, but I'd rather just have a 2.2 self-loader that looks like a 2.2 self-loader. Or an actual AR-15 that is in 2.2, 22. This is neither of those things.
The difference in recoil from the BARbine and this,
I bet.
seeing them back to back as well, just this doesn't move. Anton described it to me as like a kid drew an M16 in crayon and someone made it.
Yeah, not far off. It's because they're just going for those reference points. Those, you know, like box tick, like including the fake magazine housing to make it look a bit more like an M16. But, you know, back in the... I'm guessing this is early 80s-ish? Pretty early on. You had the civilian AR-15 that's... But this is cheaper. And the Army Jaeger is cheaper, so... That's the only justification I can think of for why these things existed. Why you'd want it in your game? I guess because it's horrifying. It'll trigger the AR purists.
Yeah, practicality does not go into a lot of the decisions of adding weapons into this game. For all the best reasons as well. It's because they're funny, or because they're unique, or weird. And I think Anton said his hobby is collecting bad firearms.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. That explains it. I did like the casual backhand of the sausage man there. Which, again, seems to be more effective than actually shooting him with it.
I'm sorry, Jonathan.
Hey!
Yeah, obviously we've seen this gun before, but I had to get your reaction on the actual scene.
Yeah.
How does it feel that your name has been now forever connected in this game?
Yeah, great.
To
I mean,
the MP5 Shadow.
I think it kind of makes up for the existence of the gun in the game, in a way. Maybe that was the idea. I don't know. I like the way he did say in the clip, "I'm not sorry."
Spoiler alert. I'm not sorry.
I will admit, I think I've developed a bit of Stockholm syndrome, or is it Helsinki syndrome?
As in Helsinki, Sweden.
Finland.
For the pump action MP5. Yeah, I don't know. I don't hate it, I don't think, anymore.
When we first saw it, you said, this could actually work.
Yeah.
This could be feasible as well.
Yeah, I think it could, because you attach the foregrip through, like, into the cocking tube. Yeah, well, it would need a bit of engineering, maybe.
Over there.
So in-game, this is just called the worst shotgun ever made.
I remember it well. We haven't got one. This is the Cobra Terminator, is it not?
That's right. A very cool name for a very trash gun.
Yeah. You can always see where they were going with it, but not really. I think, if I remember rightly, they were going for just very cheap self-defense type shotgun. I mean, you have to wonder, like, would a slam gun be preferable to this thing? I can see the amount of faffing about there with the controllers. Looks like you got the hang of it there with the side flip.
Yeah, it's not a very tactical door breaching scene when I'm having to rechamber after every shot and toss an empty shell out. Guy's literally waiting for me behind the door because I'm making so much noise.
Again, it does make a club. It's just such a bizarre design.
The whole barrel moves,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
it comes back onto the firing pin. See, you've John Wicked one of them. Just, hey, that worked best. Throw it straight at his head. And then go and pick it up again, yeah. Don't put any ammunition in it. Just throw it like a boomerang and collect it. I might have to try this out now, just out of sheer curiosity. Oh lordy, it's the high point. I'd be disappointed if they hadn't put a high point into this game.
The high point is cursed by itself, but
Oh no. What is that print on that? What's the pattern, dare I ask, on that dip?
it's like pink tiger stripe, pink
Tiger
camouflage.
stripe. Oh, yeah. It's unpleasant.
High point tactical.
We have one of the earlier Ring of Fire die-cast pistols that's even more horrific in a way than a high point, but we don't have a high point. You've got to respect it, though. Dirt cheap, works, tough to break.
Kind of ugly though.
It's never going to win any beauty competitions. And there is the red dot slide version as well, which presumably is what this is copying. So it kind of has to be that big and chunky. It's not just cost grounds. It's something that's easy to produce. It's you need mass in the slide because it's a blowback operated pistol. Oh, nice. Shades of equilibrium there with the reload.
They do have Equilibrium's pistol in the game as well. The Cleric 9.
I think I knew that and forgot it. Right, well, I know what I'm playing tonight.
Just you spinning in your room, like getting tangled up in your own signal cables.
Standing on the cat. I suppose it does beg the question of, if this is the high point, what's the low point?
Well, we've got another gun, so...
Oh no, hang on, I've heard about this.
Just a quick pause here to say that EXP is fully funded by supporters on Patreon, and don't worry, I'll let you get back to Jonathan and the Ripcord gun in just a second. Now, if you're enjoying this video, here's why I think you will enjoy what's on our Patreon. Not only can you get early access to next week's episode, which is on Delta Force, you can also get ad-free access to all of our episodes in our back catalogue, including this, and yes, that does include being free of these annoying Patreon adverts. Not only that, but with the extended episodes tier, you can get director's cut versions of all of the episodes in our back catalogue, which are roughly twice as long, which means more guns, more fun, and more Jonathan. But wait, there's even more, because you can also get access to Respec, our Patreon exclusive podcast, and this week we had Anton Hand on as a guest, the project lead of H3VR, talking about the game and the process of making the cursed guns you see in this very video. But there's even more, because you can also access our production meeting stream, where we talk about what we've been doing and what's coming up next, as well as laugh at Adam because of the state of his chair. And all of that is just from our first month on Patreon. So I'm sorry to break up the video, I'll let you get back to it now. Let's see what happens when Jonathan pulls the cord.
I think someone might have tweeted this at me.
Yeah, this is very good.
That's very funny. And strangely apt, because it's only slightly less practical than the real thing.
It's very silly, but it's actually really hard to even try to use, because
of course,
trying to do small bursts, you have to pull the ripcord back a little bit, but you actually can't really pull. You don't have a huge amount of control over how much you can pull it back, so it just rips away.
See, I would have thought all that's doing is pulling the bolt back and letting it go. You shouldn't be able to pull it part way for a short burst. So this is a Mk 11 or an M11. We need to get rid of the stock, of course, because it's not on this one. Then a hole in the back plate, and some sort of ring pull thing attached to the back of the bolt, such that you can pull it back and let it go. That's all doable, as far as it goes. It would then shoot until it was empty, because there's no way to stop it. So you can kind of see, I mean, they've clearly gone for the ring pull for the comedy value. You could just remove the trigger mechanism, cock it and let go. I guess this is slightly safer than that, but yeah, interesting.
So is this actually plausible to do?
I don't want to, I hate to say it, but I think someone could design it, yeah. All you're doing is pulling back the bolt to the point where it will pick up a round, chamber it and fire it, and there's no sear to stop it, so it will just then run away until it's empty. So you could make a real version of this. I strongly recommend that you don't, because it would be extremely unsafe. I suppose the other thing is that the way the ring pull thing starts out here and gets shorter as it shoots. That definitely couldn't happen. As I say, it's connected to the bolt, so it's going to start back here and then immediately fly forward and then back and forward and back and forward until it's empty. Unless someone can conceive of a clever, ratcheted, flexible... No, I can't think of a way of doing it. What if you threw it while it's after it started firing?
Oh, I didn't try that.
Could you true lies the...
Going down the stairs.
chuck it down some stairs, see what happens, see if you shoot yourself?
Oh, that'll be what I test next.
The ultimate sandbox. Oh, good grief.
This is the triple regret.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet it is. 350 Browning machine gun cartridges. I'm trying to think if anyone's actually done this. I think you'd have to download the cartridges. It would be uncomfortable. It's certainly depicting a proportionate level of destruction. But yeah, that would be painful. In fact, I think in reality, with this being a one-handed weapon, even with two hands on it, it's gonna flip vertically every time, and yeah, it'll hurt right there. And you can't really hold it anywhere safely up front to help with that.
Despite the length of the weapon, because of the cartridges, the length of the barrel isn't that long. Is it more of like a snub nose? It's just long because of the rounds in it.
Yeah. So are you using the arm-swinging locomotion system
Yeah.
there?
That helps with the motion sickness for me. So, yeah.
Okay.
Recording the gameplay, I have been stood in my living room just swinging my arms about.
Yeah, I'm kind of intrigued by this as a concept, because they kind of look plausible, don't they? It's not a cursed weapon in design terms. It's a straightforward revolver with a very long cylinder. It's just the sheer recoil you get from those rounds. Oh no.
So in game, this is just called the Lee Enfield Mk Ruined.
Mk Ruined. Yeah. So it's a Benelli M4 grip stock. And the rifle itself is shortened as well. Oh, that's horrifying. Oh, I'm actually allergic to it. That's the first. A small part of me is curious to shoot this as a real weapon.
Because that little bit of Picatinny at the front really obscures the front sights.
Oh yeah.
Using it with irons is very difficult.
Oh god, my curse is constantly trying to work out how something could be plausible. And I'm afraid I'm thinking jungle carbine, back half of the Second World War. If you gave them this instead, maybe with the flash hider from the number 5, they would probably find it better. I don't know though. It's got a shorter barrel than the number 5, and they had enough accuracy troubles with that, so I've talked myself out of it. I can't believe I'm trying to persuade myself that this is somehow practical or in any way right.
I've left in the footage where you can see me lying on my own living room floor to try and shoot accurately. That's another level of curse to this weapon, is I hurt my elbows on my hardwood floor getting this
really?
gameplay. Yeah, I lasted 2 shots, then I had to get up.
Yeah, it was the only way it could end. And don't come back. Oh lordy, it's that again. Is it the HS-10?
That's right. HS-10A is this variant with the, I think it's the torch that makes it the A, essentially.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Occasionally someone will try and build in a flashlight to a firearm.
Well, when I was looking up this weapon, I found that the batteries were liable to being knocked loose by the weapon's own recoil for the flashlight. So you could just shoot and the flashlight would go out because of the recoil.
Yeah, that's about right. Look good in a sci-fi movie, though. It must have been in some, surely. Again, you can sort of see what they were going for. Something very compact, built-in light, great for police in theory. That sound effect makes it sound like the gun is eating the cartridges there. Chomp, chomp, chomp. Which I suppose it is in a way. I think it's because the tone is slightly different every time. Well, so far this seems to be performing better than the real thing did. There is something cursed about that curved butt plate attached straight to the back of the receiver like that.
Is this one of the weapons that sort of spelt the death of a company?
Possibly. It usually doesn't go too well for companies that they can see a niche, they design something for it, and it doesn't pan out. Unsurprisingly, like every other aspect of industry, you're probably going to be short on cash after that. This is horrifying.
You don't like the Glompson?
I don't like the Glompson. At all. In fact, I now have an emotional support Glock.
You'll need that. I kind of like it.
It's the giant slide. I'd be all for a Thompson configuration Glock carbine chassis, but one with a giant slide is not plausibly going to work very well. Most of these chassis systems you'll see encloses the pistol. So you essentially turn the slide into a bolt, kind of, as far as the operation goes anyway. To have one giant exposed slide on top of the weapon with way too much mass, it could work, but would you want it to? I know it's just a bit of fun, but it does make me want to clutch a real one. By the way, this is one of our trials Glock Gen 4, Glock 17 Gen 4s. The only way you'd know that, if you didn't have the records, is the yellow paint denoting which pistol this was in the British Army trials, or British military trials, in 2012. I mean, there'd be more work required in engineering this than you might think as well, because of the actual feed position now being from a magazine well in front. That's quite a radical change.
So this optic that I've managed to mount, on the on Glocks, I'll often feature the lower mounting point for a laser or a light.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing on the side, I've had to use Picatinny adapters to go down, to the right, up, and back left.
Oh god, I didn't even realise that's what I was looking at.
Do you know the Glock mounting system that sort of goes over the entire front of the weapon?
Yes.
They have that, but of course there's now a foregrip in the way, so I couldn't use one of those. If they cut one in half, maybe it'd work for this, but...
Improvise, adapt, and overcome.
Check this out.
Wow.
I was trying to bait you with the first part of that gameplay, making you think it was just a Glarand.
Yeah, it worked. It worked.
It's,
I was wondering why it had Glock sights.
It's a Glem 1 Glarand.
Is that what it's actually called in the game?
that's what it's called. Do you know what it uses to feed?
Well, it looks like giant M1 clips.
Glen Glock clips.
Oh my god. Oh, and it still has a Glock slide inside. Do you know, this is probably more plausible than the Glompson. Kind of, although not really. You'd have to design a special Glarand chassis to go around the Glock, whereas this has the slide mounted. They've turned the slide into a bolt, and it's too high and too far back. Oh god, we've even got the scope.
And you've got the ping. Don't forget the ping.
Now this has caught me completely by surprise because I had no idea this existed.
Yeah, the Glen block. It's even hard to say. The Glen block glip is especially good. And you can keep one in the where a magazine would normally go in a Glock. You can keep an extra.
I can see that.
Extra in there.
Yeah, I wondered what that was poking out the bottom of the Glock. What more can be said?
You're not a fan of this one, no?
Definite points for creativity.
What weapon do you think should be mashed into a Glock? If Anton wants ideas.
Don't involve me in this. I only work here. Yeah, no, I must admit, I'm kind of curious to think how Glock with the magazine housing up here and a long barrel sticking out here and a stock attachment. Wouldn't be the worst thing ever. Oh no! Is that why you asked me the question?
You don't like the Flintglock?
Oh no. You see, you told me that there'd be a flintlock. So I brought a flintlock.
Sorry, that was a spelling error in the email.
And a Glock. And I brought a Glock. And so we have the two together. Lordy. Yeah, I'm not sure that the flintlock is sparking away there, flashing away, but it isn't actually doing anything, surely. Or is it just that it's venting out of the vent? Because the actual lock doesn't seem to move.
I feel like the rounds are like black powder or something. It gets very smoky.
It does, yeah. How is it reloading then? Is it just normal Glock? Yeah, normal Glock reload. Yeah, well, so somebody on the YouTubes some years ago did load their own black powder Glock ammo, and it worked. Not 100% reliably, but it did cycle. It was just very dirty. Here's me ready to critique the design of the H3 VR flintlock, and there's a version I didn't even know about that has a Glock mechanism built into it. Now, funnily enough, I did recently see Daniel Waters on Twitter, I think, shared designs for single-shot pistols, modern style. Where one was a flintlock and one was percussion, something I've often wondered about. This is something very different, though. Oh, what is going on now?
Glock with a switch.
Oh, for goodness sake. It's a Glock switch. For those of you who don't know, and I'm sure a lot of you do, there is such a thing as a switch, a Glock with a switch, or a switch for a Glock, which is a push-across bolt-type system for essentially disabling the trigger disconnector. In many places, highly illegal, and in all places, highly pointless. And the fact that they've turned it into a light switch, rocker switch, is I have to admit, quite funny. I, though, would prefer an old school, you know, the old kind of rocker type, so it's like a dome-shaped Bakelite housing, and then a tick, tick metal switch. Classy. Such as you might find in a stately home. The drum is particularly cursed on the Flintglock.
The Flintglock as well is in 3-round burst, whereas the Glock with the switch is either semi-automatic or fully automatic.
Well, see, now it's got me thinking. A development of the Flintglock to make it more faithful, where you have combustible, like thin card case rounds with a bullet in the propellant, but no primer. Like, it'll cycle to the next round, but you'd have to have you could have an automatic, a priming magazine, and then the slide coming back would recock and close the pan. I'm thinking external ignition. You need to go all in on this and make it actually function with the flintlock.
Of all the things that I expected you to overthink, this was not on the list.
It's nearly there, but it could be better / worse.
How do you feel after that showing of hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades?
I feel soiled. I need a shower after that absolute cavalcade of gibberish.
See, what I want to see next is, you familiar with the sort of gun meme of I've unbullpucked your SE80, I've unbullpucked your FAMAS.
People keep tweeting it at me. If I wasn't already familiar, I am now.
I want to see unbullpucked firearms in H3.
I'm sure now that you've said it, it will happen.
There's an unbullpucked EM2 in your future.
Oh, emotional support weapon.
The family of those are growing by every
I know.
every week.
Well, I think we can all get behind this one. You definitely don't want to get in front of it.
Now shove a Glock in it.
Do not shove a Glock in it.
Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed seeing us break down some hot dog killing weaponry. If you did, be sure to like the video, subscribe, and let us know what other games or movies you'd want to see on the show in the comment section below. I want to give a massive shout out and a huge thank you to all of the patrons for supporting EXP and for helping make these videos happen. Links on how to support the Royal Armouries will also be in the description, so be sure to check those out, as well as links to all of EXP's social pages. Like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe here on YouTube so you don't miss out on next week's episode, and once more, thank you for watching.